Hey everybody, it's Annie as always. Today I'm going to start with some tops that I'm going to be doing for some soaps coming up. I'm really pumped. I've been trying to do this for months. Tried out some of my own soap dough recipes and it just did not work anytime I tried. It really bummed me out. So what I did was I finally sort of cheated and went over to the Sorcery Soap blog and I grabbed Bee's recipe, and it's amazing. I can't believe I was even working with what I picked before. Her recipe is great, which is mostly lard, coconut oil, and I think I used soybean oil. And it's perfectly moldable. Hopefully you can tell that these are succulents, too. I'm going to do a succulent soap. I have a fragrance called Cactus and Sea Salt. It's just a really light, spa-like fragrance. I really like it. And I wanted to actually sculpt some succulents for the top of it. You know what? I left my dehumidifier on again. Let me stop that so you guys can hear me best. Okay, that should be better. My apologies. At least I'm remembering it eventually, but you know, ideally I should stop that before I even start the video. But I have two different colors of soap dough that I did. Both of my greens. This is the darker green, which is right here. And this is the lighter green. This is the Granny Smith apple mica that I got from, WSP, and I really love it. It does not fade. I'm also going to be dusting the tips of these with some other shades of mica too. A lot of succulents will be like a light green and then have like almost like a burgundy sort of bit on the edges, which I think is really interesting looking. And I'm going to do that with these. So I know I'm going to be using one of my hoopty box molds. I'm going to have 9 sort of cube-like bars for this. So I kind of made this template up. It's not exactly even. Like this has got to be over tiny because these are a little bit smaller. But essentially the goal is I got to make sure I would like 2 in every bar. Because 1 just doesn't feel like enough. Oh, maybe. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. So I want to sculpt some for you guys today. Probably I won't sculpt them all on camera, but I'd like to do a couple because maybe you want to see how I'm doing it. Figure if I don't tape it, you're going to say, how'd she do that? So here we go. See, look how flexible this is. In Bee's videos, she'd say, you know, you can kind of tell how good the dough is if it cracks around the edges when you squish it, and this really doesn't crack at all. It's incredible. I cannot believe it took me this long to try her recipe because I absolutely love it. I also have, excuse my sniffles, this is just a piece of fabric with some arrowroot powder in it, rubber banded. It barely like lets any out, but if I need just a little dusting, I just kind of like smack it. Perfectly dusted. It's not overkill, it's just enough, and I really like that. I saw her using something like that. I don't know if she's using cornstarch or arrowroot powder or tapioca starch or anything else, but I'm using arrowroot because that's what I have. It's very silky. A lot of people are sort of anti-corn these days, so that's what I've got. I don't even think I have cornstarch at this point. Excuse me. Sniffles. Also, what I have here are these little these are gum paste cutters or fondant cutters. When I was probably 12, I think it was my 12th birthday if I think back, my mom got me a gum paste molding kit for my birthday and I loved it and it was just so fun. I've always been into molding things and shaping things in clay and stuff like that, and this was edible, so it made it that much cooler. I've got a Wilton how-to book somewhere upstairs too. And this doesn't show you how to make succulents, but I have a lot of these little cookie cutters or these little fondant cutters or whatever left, and they're perfect for soap. So I don't have a roller. As you can see, I'm just flattening this out, which is perfectly fine for me. A roller would be nice, but I'm going to end up squishing these anyways, so not a huge deal that it's not perfectly even. It's about a 1/4 inch thick or so. I'm going to start with the bottom here. Let me dust it up. I don't have that many shapes and sizes of these cutters, so I have to kind of make do with what I have and shape, you know, use it as sort of like a rough shape. I'm just kind of pushing it out. I didn't clean these off very well from earlier, so hopefully it's not sticking too bad. So that's what I got there. I'm gonna flatten out each one of these little petals because it's quite thick. But the thicker I go, the more I can stretch it out and squish it out to make it bigger. So just squishing away. Okay. The points stayed pretty well. This one's a little bit weird right here. That's okay, it's gonna get covered up. But I do want that little point. The succulents almost have, it's just a little bit more defined. So I'm trying to do that with my hands here. Dust my fingers a bit. This dough really isn't sticking. It's doing well. I tried to gel this, by the way. I suck at gelling things. I should just stick it in the oven, but I don't know why I'm afraid to do that. So what I did with this, it was a super hot day because it's been super hot. I had both shades of green in their own little individual cavity silicone molds. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go sit this on the front porch. And I put a metal tray over top of it to cover it, but also to bring the heat. And I let it sit out there for a while. I think it was at least an hour when I went to check on it. It was fully set up, and it was warm to the touch, but I'm pretty sure it did not gel. So I thought that would add flexibility, but it's pretty flexible. But it definitely didn't look like it gelled. But at that point, I took it out of the mold and just shoved it in a plastic bag, and it's been there for about a week. Because I finally got time to play with this. Excuse me, I'm just perfecting my points. Kind of tilting it upwards. Okay, that's a pretty decent starting layer if you ask me. It's in your view at least still. As I keep going, there's these little guys. They're so cute. I already firmed up a lot from earlier. This middle one, I don't know how I feel about the middle of that, but whatever. Very flexible dough. It literally just, it feels like a clay. It doesn't even feel like soap. I tried so hard to comment on her blog posts at Sorcery Soap. I tried. I signed up for the WordPress. I did everything. It wouldn't let me make a comment. So I don't know. I'd like to send my gratitude her way. I just need to know how to do it. So I might find her email and just go, hey, you're awesome, thanks. Because not only her sharing the recipe is awesome, but if you ever see anything she does, she's freaking incredible. Definitely an inspiration. Yeah, this is kind of gunky, but it's going to be okay. Get out of there, I got one little chunk. There we go, okay. Now this one is going to be the next layer in. Let's see, make it a little bit thinner because I don't need to squish it out as far. And I'm going to cut some petals off of it to make it a little bit smaller as well. Yeah, a roller would be nice. I know B imported some fondant tools that she's wholesaling on Amazon for people. So I'm going to have to get some of those in the future. The little, I don't even know what you call those utensils. Maybe they're just called utensils, I don't know. But I could use some of those. I'm happy with the amount of cutters I have. A lot of the molding I plan on doing will be completely just in my hands. Excuse me, but a roller wouldn't be bad, and some of those little shaping tools would be ultra useful. This is the end of a spoon I got here. I'm going to take 2 leaves off, pinch it back in. It's just a tiny bit smaller now. Whoops. Okay. And just flatten out the leaves. I am sure if I had some better cutters, I'd be able to make a variety of different succulents, because there's so many different kinds. But I'm not going too crazy. Okay, so here's that little guy. Curving up the leaves a little bit. I dab the tiniest little bit of liquid for when I attach them. I want them to stick together. That was even too much, I think. Too much of a droplet. Get back here. Just want it to stick together. I'm already fearful, whoops, of these bars being destroyed when I ship them. So I want them to be as secure as possible for just right straight out of the gate, you know. Okay. So there's our 2 layers. I can't believe I'm sniffling this much. My air conditioner, because we got central air this year, and thank goodness because it's been so hot. But here in the basement there's a vent that's like right behind me. It shoots straight down in here and it makes it so cold and it actually gives me the sniffles. Gently dusting my area. Yeah, this barely puts out any dust, but honestly just enough. Any other thing it would be way too much. And my soap dough recipe, when I would make it, I would use my castile and I would leave all of the water in there. Even actually add a touch of water, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then I would mix arrowroot powder into it to kind of give it more of a doughy consistency. And the first couple times I tried it, it was great. And then I think I didn't have arrowroot and I tried kaolin or something, kaolin clay, and it was rock solid after that. It was a giant waste. It was a big bummer because I made a huge batch and I haven't tried again since then. Come on. There we go. Whoops, I lost some. I lost a couple sides. That's okay. I'll save that one for a center of a different one because a couple little bits broke off of this one. I have a hard time with that cutter because it's so small. So detailed. Alright. Actually, I'll do that as the center of this one. Just cut some of that more out of there. I've got another shape too. I've got this one, which I like. I did that for this guy over here. It is tricky. I've got small hands, but even getting in here with my little tiny fingers and this tiny little soapy succulent is not easy. Okay. This looks kind of ugly so far. I gotta make the points or it's gonna look stupid. Okay. Oh, I just looked up, it's already been 15 minutes. I don't want to make too long a video. I was going to attach this to the actual soap making portion too. I might end up doing 2 separate videos depending. We will see. Not trying to bore anyone an hour-long video. People just skip it that way. Okay, so there's that. That's not so bad. Tiny drop of liquid. I'm not pushing too hard because I'm going to stick a toothpick thing in there to stick them in before I'm done. So that's what I'm going to do for that one. Let me see. Can I get these last bits out? Okay. I should have cleaned these in between uses and dried them really well. Oops. Lips. I just want like 3 little petals or leaves or whatever the heck you want to call it. Okay. Got 4, so I'm ripping one off. I just want a tiny bit. Yeah, this is going to take a long time. I don't know that I'm going to make 18 of these. It might be 1 per bar after all. Little tiny guy. Come on, focus. Of course it's not going to focus because I want it to focus. Focus on everything else. Whatever. Okay. Oh, I squished it. It's definitely got a little butt. I'm trying to like pinch the butt. There we go. That's too much soap. I'm squishing it all to death trying to figure it out. Okay. Where's my little makeshift toothpick deal? I'm just gonna try to stick them all in together. Kind of janked up the top ones doing that. That's the thing. You gotta have them stuck together, but it kind of messes it up sometimes. Or at least it can. Come on. Yeah, this is tedious, alright. I think it's going to be worth it. Watch my soap completely fail, like the soap that these are going on top of. That would be a bummer. Okay, you go in there, you. You just go right in there. Okay. I'm going to call that good enough. See, 2 different colors. Very pretty. Yeah, I'm going to end up doing a separate video for this one here. Because I want to do one little tiny green, smaller one, light green, and then I'll dust them, and then that'll be that for this video. I don't want to go too nuts with it. And then I've got to make a couple more, but I won't do that on camera. Squish, squish, squish. A little bit thinner on this one, so less than a 1/4 inch. I keep thinking this is my paper towel and vice versa. I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to cut some petals off of it for the bottom shape. Okay. I'll cut 2 off. Boop. Pinch it in. and squish. Try to go quick with this one. Ooh. Yeah, there's no way I'm fitting two on each one. There's no way. And honestly, it's probably better that way, because when I do put two on there and it's like almost hanging off the edges, it makes it really hard to trim them up. And it's just more chance of it getting bonked and completely being destroyed. So 9 little succulents in total is not bad. I don't think that that's that big of a bummer. I'm gonna have some green soap clay left over though, but as long as I keep it in my plastic bag, I think it's gonna be fine. Alright, so there's that bottom one. And I get to use this guy. I like them so far. I do think they look like succulents. Oh, and I'm going to, for the top of the soap, I have some big chunky Dead Sea salt that I'm going to dust with Rasool clay. And that's going to hopefully look like gravel on top, and sprinkle that on top of the soap with the succulents in there around it. I think that's going to be cute. Okay. Alrighty. This little guy. Got some big cookie cutters. They're actual cookie cutters, a friend of mine. One time, like 5 years ago, I didn't have any cookie cutters, so I was using a glass to make round sugar cookies. And this particular friend of mine has got me cookie cutters in one variety or another every Christmas since then. And this past Christmas she got me is a set of 101 cookie cutters. I'm like, holy moly. I don't think I made sugar cookies since that occasion. But, oh, I can use these for soap too. Alrighty. Oh. Trying to indent this a little bit more. Stick it in there. Okay. Gotta bend its petals down a little bit. It was too closed looking. Okay. And then I'm going to do this, but just 3. I just need 3 for the center of this one. So I'll cut out just 3. Dust my fingers when they seem to be too soapy. This is the best. I don't know what I'd be doing without that right now. A little butt to pinch. The center one, you got to get some excess clay out of there pretty much no matter what. I feel like. Stick that in there. Oof. Yeah, they're not attached yet. They're just sitting on top of each other. Come on now. There we go. Okay. Not so bad. Ta-da! Alright, so there's 4 succulents. Let's go ahead and do some dusting while we're all together. I'm going to use this sage green, yeah, green sage sparkle mica, and this is satin mauve, and just dust the edges. That guy doesn't want to sit up straight, but that's fine. I have this brush thing, and it's got some other mica stained on it, but it's basically clean. It's clean enough to not turn this purple and gold, so not too worried. Because I just want to hit the edges of this. Now this one's not going to show up super strongly because it's green on green, but it's looking pretty though. Boom. I figured the light green dusting on the dark green succulent looks good. And then I'm going to do this mauve on the light green succulent, because I've honestly, the ones that have sort of that reddish hue to them all seem to be lighter in color, even more light than this. More this type of base color, but even paler, but that's the green that came out, and I'm not mad at it. Okay. Gotta be a little more gentle with this because it's gonna appear just a little bit brighter. Just wanna dust the edges. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's the perfect color too. Is my camera gonna focus or not? I'm hoping you can see this well. I know I didn't set these in the right area, but hopefully I'm working in the right area for y'all. Yeah, that's freaking adorable. So excited. Come on. Boom, there we have it. I'm gonna go ahead and make up 5 more on my own, because that would, it's already, oh my god, we're almost at half an hour. Yeah, that's a long time. But let me hold these cuties up. I am so pleased right now. Now if the camera would only focus. There we go. Oh, I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm gonna make some more, and I will post a separate video with the soap that I make out of these, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun, I think. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put some links in my description box so you can find Bee at Sorcery Soaps too, because she's awesome. Show her some love. Alright guys, thank you. We'll see you next time.